All right, good afternoon. It is December 3rd, 2021, and we had a big time downward day this morning. You can see that we pretty much bounced once we hit that measured move, though. This is the measured move of the overnight highs and lows down here. Let me move this over, though. Really, this was when all the good price action happened, though, was in this trend, and even after we broke this channel, we had some good price action, but some really strong corrections. And Mac says that when you have these really strong downtrends, you'll get some quick moves up. But I wasn't really trying to go long in any of this. But anyway, I'm trying to make this quick. There's so much to analyze here. So let's get started. And now that I'm seeing, I actually didn't mark the trades at 5 a.m. So yeah, we were trending up. This all is too far from the EMA. This looks congestive. So nothing really here. First entry, failed second entry right here. This isn't the greatest setup, though. I don't know if I would take that. Then you get a first entry, failed second entry here, so I would definitely take that. And this looks like a second entry. It looks like technically the second entry comes here because it looks like that's a higher. Yeah, we make a high right here, but I like this. I like going long right there. And then when it's just back and forth, goes above the EMA, comes back here. Unfortunately, I don't think you can take that. That's a nice move. But then shortly after the open, that's just like an opening trap. As you can see, it rockets up and probably just catches a bunch of shorts. And matter of fact, looks like they tick higher right here, so this would be a failure. I like those. Bounced off the EMA. But here, if you're patient, you don't take that. You get a first entry, second entry. Comes down here. This is congestive right here, but it is a second entry. And it's also a failed second entry long. So if you don't take that, you get this. But yeah, you might not take that and want to take this, because this one right here looks like it's very congestive, whereas this one, it looks a little less congested. But if you don't like that, well, you get a first entry, failed second entry long right here. And if you don't like that, you get a second entry short right here. All this is too far from the EMA. First entry, second entry short off the trend line. We already had an overshoot, though, so this is aggressive. But we make a couple legs down again. And still correcting back to the EMA. Finally get this break. And I don't see how you could enter this, unfortunately, unless you're being really aggressive and going short there. But we come down here. Looks like we might have a bottom. This is actually a failure, but doesn't set up. We come back up here. You might enter this, but there's no, because it's like a triple test of that level. But I don't like that. Looks like we're still in that channel up. First entry, failed second entry long. I don't think you can take that. I mean, you're going into the midline, and if you don't have this range drawn yet, well, it does look like congestion. We're going back and forth on both sides of the EMA, and it's a doji. But you might take that. Oh, that's another reason I didn't like this, though. So that looks like you're going into a channel. But that does look like an overshoot leading to a break. So there's reasons to like that trade. Now we're just going back and forth here, so I don't like this, but you get this lower high. I definitely like that. Definitely like that. And then I like this failure too. You see this one sets up well. This one did not. And there's plenty of room to these lows here. And so I don't know what happened here. I don't know if this happened for everyone. I was thinking that this was an error on my chart. So I don't know what's going on. I don't ever think I've seen an 89 tick bar. But we come down here to the low of this trend channel, and we form this range. And when you get this first entry, second entry, I think you got to take that after this strong move down. Bias has been down all day. 2, 3, 4, fifth test of, well, fourth test of this price level, and you get a lower high. This was the second entry short, but it looks a bit congestive. But then this one closes on its low. I like that. We break out with trend and it fails. This is just not at the highs of the range. So we break out with trend, form the same congestion just like here. It fails again. And this is when it breaks our downtrend. And we get this congestion. And we get, technically we broke up into this congestion. But you know, the bias was so strong to the downside that when we get this first failed second entry long with a super bearish bar, I think you have to take that. That's also a second entry short. First entry, second entry short, take that. Second entry short right here. Also, this is confirmation of that short-term trend channel. So that's a bounce right there. This is just a bad signal bar, unfortunately. So we start going down, we break this channel and start correcting up. I do not want to go long here just because the bias is so strong down. We get a break and 2 moves up before it reverses. You might take this lower high if you're feeling super aggressive, but it's just first entry. And we just start bouncing. It's really hard to tell what's going on. Might have measured this move. And you can see we form some congestion once we hit that move. This is a second entry short, but it's not off this trend channel. And you can see we bounce. And at this point, we're making higher lows for a fairly long time. So I was thinking that if you want to go long here, you might. And I think this was a, what is this, a failed second entry short, and then you get a higher low right here. That's the second entry long. That signal bar is no good though. It's big leg down, and so this is a failed second entry long right here, but that's so far from the EMA. You can see it stop people out. We bounce, and this is like a, this really looks like a double test of that price level, but it came short of that. But it looks like a first, like a new high right here. First, second entry long, or failed second entry long. And some people might have been looking at this like that. And that being the case, you might look at this first, second entry short. But I didn't like that going into the lows. Then you get a first, second entry short here. I like that because we just made a new low. And you get a lower high right there. And if you look at this double top, first, failed second entry, that's going into the lows. And so, look, it's a nice trap. You know? And I had this range drawn because of my midline. I have my midline right at that level right there. So that's a tough one right there. I think I might have taken that on my practice account. I don't think you can take this, unfortunately, after we've just been trapped right there. But we break out with trend. That fails. Rockets up. First entry, failed second entry long. Room to scalp out. I like that. This is just going into the lows. And we haven't hit that measured move of this short-term range. Then it looks like we're in this downward trend, and we get congestion right here. I don't think you can take any trades in here. Not sure why I put the box here. Probably looked like, okay, so this is a double test of this price level, and it's a second entry long, but I'm just not going long today. First entry, second entry short. This fails. It's the first break of this channel. So I'm not too sure. I mean, look, this prices are going back and forth. This is tough because you see right here, this felt like a sure bet. But yeah, I mean, that's why the EMA is our friend. But why I was looking at that is because it bounced off this price level. But you can see that price level is not doesn't carry much weight. We keep going below it. So I think that's why this wasn't a good entry. Start trending up. I'm still not convinced, really, but turns out that was an upward channel. And so when we get confirmation of this channel here, you get a first entry. Well, actually, I looked at this as a double bottom. First entry failed, second entry short right here. I think you can take that. I don't think there's any shorts in here, unfortunately. You might have taken this failed second entry long, but it's after the break, so it was a little risky. And that's all I really saw. So I'll take a look at. I did all right on the MES, but I over traded, so I don't want to take a look at that really. So I hope everyone had a good day, and I'll be back on Monday. Have a great weekend.